I'm Kathy Fountain, licensed mental health counselor in private practice, and I want to chat with you about dealing with a difficult child. Boy, what a time this is. Your child is not complying. You've asked, you've wheedled, you've demanded, you've yelled, and they are not doing what you asked them to do. Or maybe they're just taking their sweet time about it. As a matter of fact, they seem almost defiant. And you're wondering, am I a bad parent? What's going on here? Maybe I have a really spoiled child. What do we do when our child is being difficult? Well, here's something simple that you can do that eliminates some of this tug of war, and you can do it without yelling. And as a matter of fact, this might also work with children who have attention issues or conduct issues, because we want to give them a consistent message of parenting. We want to model really good behavior and being consistent in how we're asking them to do things. So let me give you an example. First of all, you have to lay out a very clear expectation of your child. Then you have to lay out what it is you want them to do. Then you have to tell them there's going to be a consequence. Then you have to follow through. It's as simple as that. Now, how will that work? Okay, let's say little Todd or Laura are in their room and they're playing with their Legos, and you say, okay, about a half an hour more, and then when I tell you, you're going to have to put the Legos away in the little box, and if you do that, you're going to get to watch your favorite television program. If not, that's not going to happen. A half an hour passes, you go in and say, okay, let's put the Legos away. They don't do it. Maybe one reminder. But don't stand there and go, okay, I'm going to count to 10, I'm going to count to 10, and you better do this, because what are you telling them? You have all the time in the world to comply with this. So you have to say, okay, put the Legos away, you know the consequence, and that's all you have to say. Now, of course, the first time you try this, they are not going to put the toys away, and so without saying a word, when their favorite TV show comes on, you go over, you turn it off, you take the remote, you walk away. What do you think is going to happen? They're going to cry and scream and beg and plead and maybe even throw a tantrum. What do? You just let them know that was the consequence. You're very sweet about it, but you've made your point. You followed through. Now, how many times do you think it will take to do that before they get the impression that here's the expectation, here's the consequence, and by golly, my mom or dad will follow through? Now, the thing about this is that you have to pick reasonable, realistic consequences. You can't say something like, if you don't do this, we're never going on vacation for the rest of our lives, or something that you know is not going to happen. You say something that you can do right then, that's immediate, that matches the tone of what they're doing, and then you stick to it. And this can even work with teenagers. For instance, in the early teens, if you say, if you'd like to go to Cheryl's house tonight, then you have to finish your homework by 5 o'clock. If they don't finish the homework, you just very nicely say, sorry, that's not going to happen. Consistent parenting is a very difficult thing, but once you get the hang of it, you really are going to find it better to deal with that difficult child. And I hope that's been helpful. I'm Kathy Fountain, licensed mental health counselor.